Ian Rush is going through a deeply painful period in his life, facing sadness that goes far beyond football. The Liverpool legend, known for his strength and winning mentality, has recently suffered the loss of his brother Gerald, a figure who meant everything to him on a personal level. As he continues to process that heartbreak, the football world was shaken again by the passing of current Liverpool player Diogo Jota. These losses have created a heavy emotional burden for Rush, connecting his personal grief with the club that defined his life. If you appreciate honest football stories like this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more meaningful content. For Ian Rush, Liverpool has always been more than a badge at his family. The loss of his brother Gerald has left a space in Ian Rush's life that can never truly be filled. Gerald knew Ian long before the goals, the trophies, and the worldwide recognition. He was a constant presence, offering support during difficult moments and celebrating success away from the spotlight. Losing a sibling changes a person in ways that are difficult to explain. For Rush, it means losing a part of his foundation, someone who kept him grounded despite the pressures of fame. This grief is personal, quiet, and deeply lasting. As Ian Rush was still coping with that personal tragedy, the death of Diogo Jota added another layer of sorrow. Jota represented the modern Liverpool spirit, admired for his work ethic and commitment to the club. Although they belonged to different generations, the Liverpool connection made the loss feel close to home. For Rush, it was a reminder that football is not just about competition, but about people and relationships. The pain of seeing the club mourn again reopened emotional wounds. It was a moment that blended personal loss with collective grief. Liverpool has always been at the center of Ian Rush's life, shaping his identity on and off the pitch. Moments like these reveal how deeply connected former players remain to the club. When someone linked to Liverpool is lost, it affects the entire family surrounding it. Rush now carries the weight of memories instead of celebrations. The stadiums, the chants, and the glory feel distant when faced with real-life pain. Football becomes secondary when loss enters the picture. Throughout his career, Ian Rush was known for resilience, determination, and mental strength. Those same qualities are now being tested in a very different way. Grief does not fade quickly, and it does not follow a schedule. It stays quietly, changing the way a person views the world. Rush's challenge now is not to overcome grief, but to live alongside it. Strength in moments like these is measured by endurance, not achievement. This period in Ian Rush's life reminds us that football legends are human beings first. Behind every iconic moment is a person capable of deep emotion and vulnerability. Fans often celebrate goals and trophies, but moments of loss show a different side of greatness. Rush's story now reflects the shared humanity between players and supporters. Grief connects everyone equally, regardless of status. It is a reminder that football is built on people, not just results. As time moves forward, Ian Rush will continue to honor the memories of his brother Geraldine Diogo Jota. Their presence will remain part of his journey, shaping how he reflects on life and football. While the sadness may never fully disappear, it becomes part of a larger story of love and remembrance. Rush's legacy is not only defined by what he achieved on the pitch, but by how he carries himself in moments of loss. In silence and strength, he continues to inspire. Ian Rush has described this phase of his life as one of the most difficult he has ever experienced. The loss of his brother Gerald reopened wounds that never truly heal, and the timing made the pain even heavier. As he was helping his family with funeral arrangements, his emotional strength was already stretched thin. Grief had taken over his daily life, leaving little room for anything else. It was during this fragile moment that more devastating news arrived. For Rush, the weight of loss suddenly doubled. The news of the tragic car accident in Spain that took the lives of Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva in July 2025 hit Ian Rush hard. It was not just another sad headline for him. It was deeply personal. Liverpool players, past and present, are part of a shared family, and Rush has always felt that bond strongly. Learning about the accident while mourning his own brother made the pain unbearable. He described the moment as shocking and heartbreaking. It felt cruel and unfair. Rush later spoke openly about how these events resurfaced memories of past trauma, especially the Hillsborough disaster. He explained that grief has a way of stacking itself over time rather than fading away. The sudden loss of Jota and his brother reminded him of how quickly lives can be taken. Those memories from 1989 came rushing back without warning. Hillsborough was not just a historical event to him, it remains an emotional scar. The recent tragedy felt like reopening an old wound. In emotional social media tributes, Ian Rush expressed his sorrow with honesty and humility. He described Diogo Jota as a real down-to-earth person and a real gent, words that reflected genuine admiration. Rush did not speak as a legend or former player, but as a human being grieving a loss. His messages carried pain, respect, and deep sadness. Fans could sense how personal this loss felt to him. It was grief spoken without filters. Although Rush was invited to attend Diogo Jota's funeral, he was unable to go. His own family's bereavement made it impossible for him to travel at that time. This decision was not easy, and he expressed regret about not being there in person. Still, his absence did not mean emotional distance. He remained fully connected in spirit and support. Sometimes grief forces painful choices. Rush also shared empathy for the current Liverpool squad, acknowledging the emotional burden placed on them. He openly stated that it must be incredibly hard for the players to simply get on with the job. Footballers are often expected to perform regardless of circumstances. Rush reminded everyone that they are just human beings at the end of the day. Loss affects them the same way it affects anyone else. This honesty resonated deeply with fans. The Hillsborough disaster of 1989 remains one of the darkest chapters in Liverpool's history, and Ian Rush has never stopped carrying its weight. 97 fans lost their lives on a day meant to celebrate. Football Rush has spoken many times about the lasting impact of that tragedy. The pain did not end when the stadium emptied. It followed the club, the players, and the families for decades. Hillsborough is not a memory, it is a presence. Rush has said that the recent loss of Diogo Jota and his brother felt like a painful echo of Hillsborough. Not because the events were the same, but because the grief felt familiar. That shared sense of shock, injustice, and sadness returned. For him, it highlighted how deeply trauma stays embedded within the Liverpool family. Tragedy leaves fingerprints that never fully fade. Every new loss awakens the old ones. Another tragedy that shaped Ian Rush's life was the Heysel Stadium disaster in 1985. He was part of the Liverpool squad present for the European Cup final against Juventus. 39 people lost their lives that night, turning a football occasion into a nightmare. Rush has often recalled the heavy silence that followed. It was a moment that changed everything. Rush described the team bus after the Heysel match as being filled with an eerie quiet. There was no celebration, no discussion of the game. The players understood immediately that football no longer mattered. Manager Joe Fagan addressed the team with words that stayed with Rush forever. He told them the result meant nothing because lives had been lost. That moment reshaped how Rush viewed football and responsibility. The Heysel tragedy haunted Ian Rush long after his playing days. It taught him that football exists within society, not above it. Loss on that scale alters perspectives permanently. Rush carried those lessons throughout his career and beyond. He never separated success from humanity. Moments like Heysel and Hillsborough formed the emotional backbone of his character. After retiring as a player, Ian Rush faced challenges in management that tested him differently. His brief time as manager of Chester City between 2004 and 2005 was deeply frustrating. The experience lacked stability, trust, and respect. When his assistant was sacked without his knowledge, Rush felt undermined. He chose to resign on principle, rather than compromise his values. That managerial experience pushed Rush away from pursuing football management as a long-term career. It was not the pressure of results that bothered him, but the lack of integrity behind the scenes. Rush has always valued honesty and loyalty. When those values were violated, he walked away. It was a difficult but defining decision. Even during his playing career, Rush experienced setbacks that challenged his confidence. His move to Juventus in 1986 was far from smooth. The foreign player restrictions and cultural differences made adaptation difficult. For the first time, Rush felt out of place. It was a humbling experience for a player used to dominant Slovene. In a new country and adjusting to a different style of football tested him mentally. Rush has spoken about feeling isolated during that period. While not a tragedy, it was a moment of personal struggle. It reminded him that success is never guaranteed. Growth often comes through discomfort. All these experiences, personal loss, collective tragedy, professional disappointment, have shaped Ian Rush into the man he is today. They explain the depth of emotion he shows in moments like the loss of Diogo Jota. His grief is layered, informed by decades of pain and remembrance. He carries history with him wherever he goes. That history speaks through his words. Ian Rush's story is not just one of goals and trophies, but of endurance through heartbreak. The recent tragedies have reminded him, and everyone watching, that football legends are shaped as much by loss as by success. His honesty in grief reflects strength, not weakness. Through sorrow, he continues to represent dignity, empathy, and humanity, and that may be his most lasting legacy. Ian Rush's journey reminds us that even the greatest football icons carry invisible weight. Behind the goals, records, and legendary status is a man shaped by loss, memory, and resilience. His recent experiences show that grief does not discriminate, and fame offers no protection from pain. What defines Rush now is not what he achieved on the pitch, but how he continues to face life with honesty and dignity. Moments like these reveal the true meaning of football family. Liverpool has always stood for unity, shared emotion, and collective strength, especially in times of tragedy. Through Rush's words and reactions, we see how deeply connected past and present remain. Loss does not divide generations, it brings them closer. In grief, The Liverpool family stands together as fans. It is important to remember that players are not machines built only to perform. They feel loss, shock, and sadness just like anyone else. Ian Rush's empathy toward the current squad reflects this truth. Football pauses in moments of tragedy even if the schedule does not. Compassion matters more than results. Stories like this deserve to be heard, remembered, and respected. If this video helped you see Ian Rush and football from a deeper perspective, take a moment to support the channel. Liking the video helps share these stories, and subscribing ensures you don't miss future content that goes beyond the scoreboard. Football history is filled with triumph, but it is also filled with moments of silence. The tragedies that shaped Ian Rush's life remind us why respect, remembrance, and humanity must always come first. These moments stay with us, shaping how we view the game and each other. They deserve space and reflection as time moves forward. The memories of those lost will remain part of the Liverpool story. Ian Rush continues to carry those memories with quiet strength, honoring them through his words and actions. His story is a reminder that resilience is not about forgetting pain but learning how to live with it. Thank you for watching and taking the time to listen to this story. If you believe football is more than just a game, share this video with others who feel the same. Leave your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more meaningful football stories.